Samson, love to my species. How are all of you doing today? I hope you guys are doing great. You guys need to be great. And if you're not great, then I have a little clip excerpt from a book that I've been reading. Actually, I've read it a few times, but every time I read it, I seriously have more and more and more and more thoughts and realizations that come from this book. And all of you are wondering, what book is this, Sam? The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Now, there's another book that I think I posted about, and it's this one, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life Purpose. And this one is nothing. Oh, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. And I just wanted to read you the first section of it. He actually talks about a parable, which I thought was actually really nice. Now, just to let you know, I have a horrible, horrible, horrible reading voice. And on top of that, I feel like I'm coming under, or I feel like I'm coming down with something, if that even makes sense. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, the book is called The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. Chapter 1 is You Are Not Your Mind. The greatest obstacle to enlightenment. What is that? A beggar had been sitting by the side of a road for over 30 years. One day, a stranger walked by. "Spare some change," mumbled the beggar, mechanically holding out his old baseball cap. "I have nothing to give you," said the stranger. Then he asked, "What are you sitting on?" "Nothing," replied the beggar, "just an old box. I have been sitting on it for as long as I can remember." "Ever look inside?" asked the stranger. "No," said the beggar. "What's the point? There's nothing in there." "Have a look inside," insisted the stranger. The beggar mumbled. Whoops. The beggar managed to pry open the lid. With astonishment, disbelief, and elation, he saw that the box was filled with gold. "I am that stranger who has nothing to give you and who is telling you to look inside. Not inside any box, and as in the parable, but somewhere else even closer, inside you." "But I am not a beggar," I can hear you say. "Those who have not found their true wealth, which is the radiant joy of being and the deep unshakable peace that comes with it, are beggars, even if they have great material wealth. They are looking outside for scraps of pleasure or fulfillment, for validation, security, or love, while they have a treasure within that not only includes all of those things, but is infinitely greater than anything the world can offer." The word enlightenment conjures up the idea of some superhuman accomplishment, and the ego likes to keep it that way, but it is simply your natural state of felt oneness with being. It is a state of connectedness with something immeasurable and indestructible, something that almost paradoxically is essentially you, and yet is much greater than you. It is finding your true nature beyond name and form. The inability to feel this connectiveness gives rise to the illusion of separation from yourself and from the world around you. You then perceive yourself consciously and unconsciously as an isolated fragment. Fear arises, and conflict within and without becomes the norm. I love the Buddha's simple definition of enlightenment as the end of suffering. There is nothing superhuman in that, is there? Of course, as a definition, it is incomplete. It only tells you what enlightenment is, not no suffering. But what's left when there is no more suffering? Question mark. The Buddha is silent on that, and his silence implies that you'll have to find out for yourself. He uses a negative definition so that the mind cannot make it into something to believe in or into a superhuman accomplishment, a goal that is impossible for you to attain. Despite this precaution, the majority of Buddhists still believe that enlightenment is for the Buddha, not for them, at least not in this lifetime. You use the word being. Can you explain what you mean by that? Being is an eternal, ever-present one life beyond the myriad forms of life that are subject to birth and death. However, being is not only beyond, but also deep within every form as its innermost, invisible, and indestructible essence. This means that it is acceptable. Sorry. I told you I was not that great at reading. This means that it is accessible to you now as your own deepest self, your own true nature. But don't seek to grasp it with your mind. Don't try to understand it. You can know it only when the mind is still. When you are present, when your attention is fully and intensely in the now, being can be felt, but it can never be understood mentally. To regain awareness of being and to abide in the state of feeling realization is enlightenment. And I'm going to stop there. I just wanted to kind of go back to the parable. I thought that was just so nice. And I don't know. I kind of had a bad day today. And so reading always brings me up, especially books like this that talk about not only enlightenment, but talk about just everything in general and putting life in a different perspective from the perspective that you have right now. So with the beggar parable, with the stranger, I don't know. It's just weird. All my life, I feel like I've been like working towards something, you know? And I think I have to take a step back and tell myself that thing that you're working for or towards, not that is it worth it, not that will it make you happy or will it fulfill your life needs, but when you look at something like that and you constantly are delving inside yourself to find the true answers within the source being of you, you will find that, I feel, goals are usually temporal goals, goals that are not everlasting goals. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people are going through. I feel like people have their minds on goals, which is great, but what will the goals give you? Will they give you enlightenment, true understanding of yourself, true understanding of others? Will they give you happiness, but happiness as in joy, not happiness as in temporal awareness of happiness? I don't know, guys. You know, there's a lot that's been going on. Not to I don't even have cigarettes. I have to fucking go get cigarettes. Oh, no. I have cigarettes. I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm back. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Literally, my whole phone just fell when I went to go press play. Anyway, that was a quick thing of me being back. I don't know. I feel like personally in my life, I have worked for goals, personal goals for me, but goals that were not everlasting. I'm looking at only so much of my life and saying based on that minute amount of my life, these are the goals that I need. I feel like when I was growing up in school, I don't even know if that is even technically right, but it's been one of those, days, so excuse me if I start speaking in broken English or fragmented sentences, but this is just who I am. But it's just weird because, you know, when I was growing up, I was told, oh, you need to always have set goals for yourself. What's your 5-year goals? What's your 10-year goals? Your 25-year goals? And it's like, but why? Your 5-year goals shouldn't be any different from your lifelong goals. And your lifelong goals shouldn't be any different from your 1-month goal of what you want to be, your day goal of what you want to be. I feel like, personally, I'm a very positive person. I feel like I like to uplift people, and I like to make people happy and laugh, and sometimes I go overboard, and sometimes I get a little too crazy, maybe every fucking day, but I have no filter, I will say, and I just enjoy being happy. And when someone in my life is negative, the empath in me comes out, and I feel bad because they're feeling bad, and I'm hurting because they are hurting. And it's so dumb. I mean, I keep telling myself, why do you care so much about some people in your life? People who you truly love, and you want the best for them, and you want them to achieve their goals more so than you achieving your own fucking goals. It's so fucking weird. I don't understand at all. But I think it's time for a change. I moved to Colorado for a few reasons. One of those reasons is because I was fired from Trader Joe's from my previous job. And the reason why is because, well, you can just go back to that video. And I've talked about it before in videos after that one video that got me fired. But I moved to Colorado because I wanted to start a new life. I was told by family that it would be a great time and that I would enjoy it. And it's completely different from California. It's cheaper, which it is, but at the same time, it's not California. And I've spent many of days since I've been in Colorado wishing that I never left. And it's sad because I uprooted myself to go and to live in a whole new state. And I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed because I have not made my goals. I'm disappointed because I have lost in touch with my source energy and my innerness and whatever the fuck you want to call it. I used to be very spiritual. I used to be just very big on things, and now I'm so caught up with people that I've neglected myself. And I had the realization today that I need to stop. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been telling myself you don't want to cry. I've been crying all day today. It's been a hard fucking day, guys. And the thing about it is, the people who you thought cared and the people who you thought were there for you are not. It's another lesson to learn that you are really only there for you. I've never been like that. Never. That mentality is a Colorado mentality. Because that's not how I've thought. That's not how I have been thinking before I moved here. It's crazy that when you like change locations, you start to change. And people who you start to hang around with, you start to mold to. And I don't want that. I want to be who I was. And I don't care if people don't like me for it. I don't care if I'm not loved for it. It just sucks, guys. It sucks. But you tell yourself, no matter what, you can get through it. And me being, having a past of suicide and having a past of, or trying, or having major depression, and telling yourself that you're not good enough for anyone, and that you're not good enough for your own fucking job, and you're not good enough to be happy. And that's how I've been. That's been my whole thing. So I'm not good enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm not man enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not good enough. And that was never my mentality. You guys, it sucks. It really sucks. But just believe in yourself is all I can say. People will try to tear you down, and people will try to be fake with you, and people will pretend to like you, and people will want to just use you. And if any of you are in that predicament, I'm here to tell you, don't let them. Because they're not anything for you. They're not healthy for you at all. And though you think that they are, because you've had a few great days with them, or you think that they are because they've helped you in whatever way that they don't even understand, but to you, they've been a huge help. It doesn't work out. They're everywhere, okay? They're not in just Colorado. They're not in California, just only in California. They're everywhere. It's the ego. The physical flesh of the human is what it is. And to any of you who might be in that predicament, just remember to breathe. And just remember that inside of you is everything. Inside of you is the answer. Inside of you is the love that will love you. And inside of you is the knowledge that will train you. But you just have to be receptive and aware and open to understand. And it will come. It will. And there's going to be so many people out there who will see that, and they'll be jealous, and they'll try to take it from you, and they'll try to break you down. And just remember to get back up. Keep walking. It's going to be fucking hard, I guarantee you, but You guys can do it. I love you guys so much. Please have a wonderful night or day or morning or whatever time that you watch this. And I'm sorry for kind of a depressing type of video, but this is just my whole feels right now coming out on y'all. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Be safe.